When I first make the bowl, I take the bottom ring and I'm going to turn an inset in here for the chuck, which looks like this. So the chuck expands and it's on it's got a slight bevel here, and we're going to create an inset here that this can go into and expand into. The thing that I've noticed over the years is that on bowls that are 5 or 6 or 7 rings tall, it can tend to get out of round, even though when it's being glued up properly, it tends to slide to one side a little bit. Let me explain what I mean in this next little shot. In this piece here, you can see I've turned the top of this previous top ring, and you can see there's quite an indent here, whereas on the opposite side the ring is almost flush. So what we're getting is a tendency for the rings to move this way. As we get up, the top of the rings become thinner, and it becomes impossible to add additional rings on. You can also see on the inside there's although this part here is sanded, this part here, this side here is just about flush, and over here there's quite a lip. So in order to avoid that, one of the things that I'm trying to do is to make this ring here as accurate as possible. And the way to do that is, the bandsaw cutting it's done by eye, and it's not perfect. So what we have to do is we have to mount this piece in the jumbo jaws so that it is set in as circular a position as possible. The way I try to do this is I set it up and then I turn the lathe on very slowly, and then I speed it up. And what we're looking for is a vibration along this edge here. If there's too much of a vibration, if it's like this, then what we want to do is slow it down, turn it off, and reposition the piece in the jaws so that we get a more uniform spin on it. This piece here is now set into that spin. You can see there's a very, very slight vibration, but essentially when we put the insert in, the top of the ring, which is going to be this part over here, this side here of the ring, is going to be essentially round, and the next ring, if it lines up with that, is going to spin relatively true. If we can keep the ring spinning true at each stage, then the top ring will spin relatively true, and we will get a fairly accurate piece out of it. The thing that I've found is that this lathe, the one-way lathe that I'm working with now, is a much more accurate lathe, and it has allowed me to be more accurate, but it also demands greater accuracy in greater attention to detail in assembling a piece.